another interesting session. And today we are collaborating with the GDSC Google Developer Student Club of Dronacharya in College of Engineering. By the way, I'm also from GDSC. Okay, I don't want to say anything about that. So we have here Shruti. So Shruti, go ahead and talk about the hackathon. Let's see what exactly is happening here, and then let's see what all things we are going to. I believe everyone have seen the trailer and then coming here. So let's directly jump into it.
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Shruti Sharma. I am the community lead of Google Developer Student Club at my campus, that is Dronacharya College of Engineering, for the year 2021 to 2022. And I'm a pre-final year student pursuing BTech in the IT field. I'm also a web developer. I've done few internships in the past, and currently I'm learning about new techs. So this is the last tech session that we are organizing under a hackathon named as Hackorelay. So there were three tracks that we are covering in that hackathon. First one is content creation, second one is prototyping, and the third one is development. The sessions for content creation and prototyping has been scheduled in the past, and they are on our YouTube channel, so you can check that out. The last session that we are going to organize, or we are organizing right now, is how to become a web developer, where our mentor Praveen sir will cover everything about how a beginner can start their journey in the web development field. For more details about the hackathon, you can follow us on all of our social handles. So yeah, I think we can start now.
That's a great introduction, and let's go for the main stuff. So, hi everyone. For those people who have not got any idea who this guy is, my name is Praveen. I'm originally from Chennai, India, and currently living and working in the UK in London for one of the top US-based investment banking firms as a React JS specialist, a full stack JavaScript specialist, where I specialize on React JS and Node.js. So today we will be looking into how, as a beginner, you can become just like me. I'm a full stack developer, so you can also become a full stack developer. And there is no short routes, but there is this definite route where you can go for it. So I keep saying that I'm a full stack developer. So what is a full stack developer who doesn't have a website? And by the end of this stream, you should be able to do all these things what I'm doing as well. So that is one more thing which I'm going to tell. And let me share my screen, and I hope everyone is able to see the screen. So this is my website, and you need to do something similar to this. So we will be learning a lot of stuff. So it says, it has a big picture of mine, and it says I'm a catalog work mentor, front-end developer, full stack developer, whatever it is, whatever it says. And there are like loads of places where you can follow me and find me. And I also have my own YouTube channel. I guess no one sees that, but yeah. So I'm currently live in this as well, and we can see how, I guess no one sees that, but how it goes here. So this is how it looks like when we are sharing the screen. And coming back to all these things, so let's close these things. So this website has got a quick introduction about myself, all the required details, only the phone number and email, not my birth year. Those things are not required. And when it comes to experience, just make sure that you put your projects in case if you're a student. And coming to the education part, I just copied everything from my university's website, the brochure. So in case if you're lazy enough, just like me, go do the same thing. And all these numbers are like built up numbers. So right now the numbers are like super high. Yeah, I've done a lot more projects than before. So coming to this part, this is very important for every one of you who is an aspiring developer. Or see, once you complete your engineering or complete your undergraduate, obviously you're going to get into a company or something like that, right? But you need to make sure that you are taking the best decision. For example, I did this particular application like 12 years ago, this one 11 years ago, this one 10 years ago. And if you say that, okay, this company is my favorite company, let's say it is Google or Microsoft or something, some of the fan companies, or if it is not fan companies, it could be like, Morgan Stanley or JP Morgan or something like that. So the recruiter or the person who is going to hire you should gauge you in the right way. So if you put all your works in a chronological way, they will be able to see that how you have improved over time. For example, these things are my latest creations, while these are like old ones, and you can clearly see the difference. Not only that, when you go into the industry time, it is going to be very important for you to make sure you are doing a absolutely good written communication skills. Start writing blogs. Write blogs that are in plain English. Don't need to use a lot of jargons, which is going to attract a lot of people then. So what happens is, I typically write two types of blogs. One, I got a problem and I solved it in one way. And second thing, I learned about something new and I wanted to share it with everyone. So for the first one, what I generally do is I take a storytelling approach. So in simple terms, if you want to explain what exactly is this concept of Ajax or something like that to a lot of people who are in the age group of like, I mean, like for kids or for my dad, who is actually a mechanical engineer, I would be saying like, if there is a window that is broken, would you demolish the whole house and rebuild the whole house, or you just replace the window? That exactly is the anecdote I generally tell for the Ajax calls. So similarly, try to explain a concept in such a way that a 5-year-old kid or your grandma or grandpa understands. So that is one way of writing things. Second thing is, try starting with a problem. Start with a problem. Tell the world what is the expected solution and what your approach was, step 1, step 2, step 3 until this, and then at the end I got the solution of this solution is almost similar to what exactly I was expecting. So that way it is going to help a lot of people understand what you're talking about. This is what people talk behind my back, and here's how you can talk behind my back. So without delay, we will directly jump into our today's session. So we'll be talking more about my development environment. Then I believe a lot of people who would have already seen the contents, so I'll just quickly tell you what all things that we will be talking about. So first thing is, I'm going to explain about what exactly my development environment is made of. Then we will also go through some of the developer roadmaps, especially the front end and back end. So once you are good with front end and back end, you will become a full stack developer. And then there is also this complete stack developer. I'm just keeping like I'm just telling that part, but a complete stack development is like, once you are done with full stack development, what next you need to do. So it is related to the DevOps and other things. Even if you are just a full front end developer, you might be wondering. So for example, I believe Shruti has created her own website using a couple of tools and technologies, right? Right, Shruti? So you have deployed your website as well. So that deployment part will come in DevOps, and those things are, like they are constituting the DevOps side and complete stack. So after that, there are a lot of tips and tricks I would like to do. So let me see the YouTube comments as well. So how many of you are lazy just like me? First, let me see, where is the YouTube channel here? I couldn't find it. Oh, we have Suhani Gupta. Hi. There's only one person. Okay, keep messaging so that keep it interactive, and I would be able to give some. Okay, we are from Google, right? So I've got this Google Play Store's 50-pound gift card. So if someone wants it, I can actually give it over. So I've got a couple of them, and those people who are actually putting a nice message or like being more interactive, I can give some goodies out of it. And I do have a lot of stickers from MLH as well. So always whenever you come to my live streams, it's all yours. Like so many people coming and like learning something new, that would be great. Okay, cool. So coming back to what we were talking about, so we will go for this particular thing. So if you all are lazy just like me, so I'm going to show you a lot of tips and tricks using HTML, writing quickly HTML content. So, and there are a couple of magic stuff that I can show you as well, magic in the code and stuff like that. And then there are some productivity plugins and tools that I will be going through. Then we will make a small, very quick application deployment, and we will also see the best way of application deployment as well. So this might be helping Shruti to like migrate her website, and so that's going to be really helpful for you.
I absolutely will do that just after the session. Thank you for the feedback, though.
Awesome. So one thing, so what I was telling Shruti was, I see a lot of people who have hosted their websites on Heroku. So when you are hosting a static website, try to use some kind of a static site service like Surge, Netlify, Vercel, or GitHub Pages. not in any particular order, but I really love GitHub Pages for its simplicity and integration with GitHub. Another thing is Vercel has been having a really good talk these days. Unfortunately, I don't have my Vercel t-shirt, or else go and check my previous live streams for my Vercel t-shirt. That is really cool. And in case if you are using something like Next.js or the server-side rendering of React applications, Vercel is best. And coming to the last part, I have my guardian angel, Cloudflare. So I'm going to talk about a bit of Cloudflare, how this is going to help me or you in working with applications or something like that. So without any delay, let's go ahead and start with looking into my development workflow and development mission. So if you go to Google and type in Praveen Dev Environment, the first link that you would be getting is this one. So it says my personal development environment, and it has got something like this. Let me try to zoom it in. Okay, cool. So I'm basically using a modified Mac OS machine. It kind of looks like this. This is a Zoom Room machine as well. So it kind of looks like this. It runs on Mac, and then I'm using that as my development machine as well. So that's the main reason I used to say don't call me on Google. Sorry, this is Google, right? Damn. Don't call me on any WebRTC services. So just use Zoom, and I use Google Chrome in spite of its. There are so many complaints about the privacy and other things. So why Google Chrome? Google Chrome is one of the best for me because let's do one thing. Those people who are watching, can you tell me your favorite news channel and what you want to come inside as? Like, and hit the like button and hit the subscribe button in case if you haven't done. So it's going to be really cool. So I would like to ask one of you from my YouTube channel, like the list of people who are watching, tell your favorite, what is it called? Oh my God, I keep forgetting things. Tell your favorite news website. Just name of the news website. And okay, BBC. Sukam Chaudhary says BBC. And what news that you want to see, which is about yourself. For example, if I want to see my news, I would say in the BBC first page, I want to have like Praveen has become the president of the world, something like that. So what exactly you want to see your news, Sukam? And fun part is I'm in London in the British Isles, and then we are opening BBC and messing it up. It's going to be very interesting. So this is BBC website, hopefully, and then this is the BBC UK's website because I'm in the UK, and I'm still looking at what Sukam Chaudhary wants to become. Or shall we just go with the same thing? So Sukam Chaudhary wants to become the president of the world or something like that. So I need to find a picture of Sukam Chaudhary. Okay, Sukam Chaudhary, there are like so many Sukam Chaudharys. Let's take some random Sukam Chaudhary. Are you the same person, this person, by any chance? Okay, I couldn't find any answers. So let's make him the president of the world. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this image and inspect this particular thing. And there is this a tag, and we have got dev and other things. For those people who have not worked with HTML or CSS or JavaScript, what you can do with Chrome DevTools is, this is the first thing which I wanted to show. So you can actually modify anything inside this. So for example, you have this sources. Let's get rid of the SRC set, which is confusing. And we have SRC. I'm just going to copy and paste this link, which is Sukam's picture, some random Sukam's picture. And we can say like live, this guy. So here's the live thing. So let's leave this live part. Live, oops. Where is the name again? The below one now. Okay, fine. I guess we got Sukam's name, like Sukam's picture, but it was the below one. So if this is not the one, then this one is it. Wait, which below one are you talking about? Oh,
I
this.
think, yeah.
This one. Okay, cool. Yeah. Got it. Thank you. So let's take this picture and let's update this picture with him. So you will be able to see how this whole website has been built, and you will be able to completely modify it, make it work fine or something like that. And let's put his picture here. All right, this is not exactly what I was looking for, but there is a way to like do this work. Yeah, padding bottom, it says this one, right? Let's increase the padding bottom. So these are a couple of things that I can do, like see what I can do, etc. And then once I did this, so all I need to do is take the name, change all these things. Is, how would you say sworn in, like swearing in as the first president of the world. Watch it live. So something like this, if we do this and it is in Europe, no, it is actually happening in India. So I don't know again where exactly I left it here. So I guess it is here. It's a div here. There is a definition list. Have no clue why these people have put a lot of DLDT tags. So India world. So this is something which we can do, so that now we just saw that how, if I put Sukham's picture, it was not aligning properly. So I had to change a couple of parameters in the code, right? So these things I can do it live. How many of you are looking at this for the first time? Okay, I hope at least someone would have like understood, okay, this is something which Google Chrome can do. And the fun part is, Sukham, if you want to take a pic, like a screenshot or something, this is the time, because the moment I refresh this page, it will all go. So the main reason why this is happening is Google Chrome gives you the ability to change things on the fly to make sure everything seems perfect at the live. So that's exactly what we are doing. And coming to the other parts, there are like so many Chrome extensions that I have got. So the main reason why I have got these Chrome extensions is, one of them is like like this particular React Dev Tools. This is going to help me with debugging all the React related stuff. So we will also look at how we can deploy a React application today, and also a normal HTML CSS application as well. And I have got other things like Zoom I'm using for most of the meetings, meeting with my family, meeting with my friends, and also doing all these live streams. And so this live stream is actually like broadcasted through Zoom and a custom setup. I said you that Zoom room thing. So how many of you want to time travel in your life, at least time travel in code? So time traveling is one of the most like underrated thing, or a lot of people would be looking forward to do a time travel. Let's say you start your day at 9 p.m. night. We are developers, right? We start at 9 o'clock night time. We will be very bright and etc. So we start with let's say you are writing a code, and 9:15 you are like making a small so for those people who do not have idea about Git and GitHub are like, Git is a version control system, GitHub is a service by Microsoft that uses Git as the version control system. So a version control system is like, it takes snapshots of your code in different times, and it is in under your control. Okay, so that is what is Git and GitHub. There is more to it, but I'll just tell you why for this particular thing. So let's say you start at 9 o'clock, you make a commit. You make a commit in the sense, whenever you go play a game, at a point of time there will be a flag and it says checkpoint, right? And even if after the checkpoint, if you die, you will not start from the first, but you will start from the flag. So that is the same thing as commit. Okay, so you would go back in time, so something like that. So 9:30 you are making a commit, then 10 o'clock you are making a commit, 10:15 you are making a commit, 10:20 you are making a commit, 10:35 you are making a commit, 11 o'clock you are making a commit, 11:30, 11:45, 12:15, 12:20, 1:10, and then you stop there and then go sleep, and then you wake up at 9 a.m. in the morning, and then after 10 o'clock you find that you started with yesterday at 11:15 you made a commit. So at that point you started going somewhere else. You wanted to go back in time to correct everything whatever you have done. So that is possible using Git and GitHub. So that is exactly why Git is always good, and we always use Git and GitHub for time tracking, like version controlling. So you can go back in time and you can fix all these things like that. And there are these many things that I generally use in my mission for making myself productive. But let's go directly to the one thing that I generally use for all my web development purpose. it is Visual Studio Code. So in Visual Studio Code, this is the only Microsoft product I really love. So I have got all these other products as Google Chrome, Apple laptop, Android phone. So nothing Microsoft except VS Code. So VS Code is one of the best because one thing, it is written in HTML and CSS, and it helps you in being like you can do a lot of things in that. So what we are going to do is we will work on whether it is web development or React application development. VS Code is better. I'm going to open a VS Code instance so that I can show you how it looks. And I have added a lot of Shruti, you have asked to allow someone. I will just try to release the lock. Yeah, hopefully it doesn't make any more problems. So yeah, I have released the lock. So if you want someone to come in, they can come in. Okay, coming back.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. So now what I'm going to do is, let me open my VS Code to show how it looks like. This is going to be a new window. Just a sec. Okay, here you go. So this is my VS Code window. Let me zoom in a bit so that you will be able to see this. So here's my Explorer. This is the reason why I want to use VS Code is it completely has got everything that I need. Explorer is here, which technically replaces my File Explorer. And there is a search bar, a global search, which is good. Then I can easily clone a repository and work on it. And then if I want to use a terminal, I can directly run a terminal and start working on this one. This is also easier for me. So these are a couple of things that is going to help me. And I have got some 8 different plugins here, as similar to like what I have written here. So I'll quickly show you what all things that these do. So the first thing is this one is a theme, so it is useless. Again, this is again a theme once again. So it is going to customize your folder structure, and it shows all these folders in beautiful icons and colors. That is again another kind of a useless thing. Then there is this to-do tree, another useless application, which what it does is it finds all these to-do, fix me, etc., and then shows you as a tree here. So leaving all these things, we have got other awesome things. One is Git lens. So we people are very happy about blaming others, right? So something bad happened, it's because of him, not me. It's because of her, not me, right? So this one will actually take the blaming to a different level. So if you see the Git lens, where exactly is the preview? Seems like the preview has been updated. Oh yeah, so look at this one. So this is the different previews that it has got. So it shows all these commit stuff and things, whatever it happens. So for example, if you take let's say this view, you would be able to see that there is this particular line number 16 or something like that, return super global or something like this. So that was changed, return supercharged code, that was changed by me 4 years ago. So something like that. These are the easy ways. Like you can obviously do a git blame and see who did it and when, but this is one easy way of doing things easily. Then apart from this Git history, it is going to show you Git log, history of changed files, history of changed folders, all these things inside your VS Code. So this is going to make your life easier by not going to github.com and trying to search for that particular file and see what exactly changed and when. And then I would like to dedicate a lot of time for my ES7 React Redux React Native snippets. The reason being, let's say if I want to start with a React application, let's say if I want to work with a JavaScript application, all I need to do is boom, I've got a console.log here, CLG or CL, hello, hey, GDSC-DCE. So something like this. This is one easy way of doing things. And again, when I'm working with React, for those people who know what React is, they will be able to understand. For those people who do not know what React.js is, I'm going to give you a small hint. So React has got 2 types of components. One is a class component, another is a functional component, an arrow functional component. So if I want to create a React class component, you need to write at least 10 to 15 lines of code. So all I need to do is React class component. Boom. Oops, sorry. That was not expected. Boom. Here you go. Here's a React class component. And if I need a RCCE or P, nope. Okay, RCE. So I can easily do a React component with an exporting thing. So default export. So this is something which I would strongly suggest all the React developers to use. So this is one easy way. So what about React arrow function component with an export? Boom, here you go. So all you need to do is just type in a couple of lines, couple of words, and then it is dynamic in nature as well, based on what you want to do. For example, if I want to create a header, I can just change the header and it totally converts the whole application. Like wherever it needs to be header, it's going to convert it into header. So apart from these things, there is one big tool that I'm using. It is called as Prettier. So Prettier is a formatter for Visual Studio Code. A lot of people have would have learned about what Prettier is, and along with ESLint, see what kind of magic it can do. So for example, Prettier is just an indentation thing, right? It's not just indentation. So if I say I have got a crazy code that I am writing here, so this is based out of the ES6 JavaScript, and what I'm doing is I'm creating a const a which is equal to a function. It is actually a function which takes in a parameter called b, and inside the function I'm going to map the parameter b with c comma d, where c is the so I'm going to do a const e equal to b of c. So c is the index and d is the c of d, or like what, so b of d or something like that, and then I'm going to return the e. Okay, so if I do this way, what happens here is all I have written here is there are no spaces I have written, no spaces whatsoever. There is only one semicolon here, and it is not that readable, right? So if I just paste it here, look what has happened. So first thing is, you don't need these extra parentheses. So those parentheses have been removed from this b. And then if you see this particular part, there are totally 3 semicolons that I should have put for a normal code, for a human readable code. And then I have given only one semicolon, which is not good. And then all the other spaces, making it look really nice. All these things will be taken care of by ESLint and Prettier. So so far, is it interesting or is it boring? What do you think, Shruti? Are we going in the right track?
Yes, I think we, after the IDE part, we can cover about the technologies that a beginner can start.
Definitely. So that's the next thing that we are going to do. So it's about the complete roadmap. So I would like to show you one more website called roadmap.sh. This is where we are going to spend a lot of time today, and it has got almost all the roadmap of 2022. So here we go. There is front-end roadmap, back-end roadmap. There is also a DevOps roadmap. Then in case if you want to work with React or Angular or Vue or something like that, reactive applications, you have their respective roadmaps as well. And for those people who are interested in other technologies like Android, Java, Android for mobile application development, Python for machine learning and artificial intelligence, maybe data science as well. And then Go is the next kid out there who is going to be the next awesome backend web page, like, API programming language. So that is Go. That's by Google, by the way. And then if you want to become a database architect, so there you go. Here's the database architect as well. So all these things are possible. And if you go for the front end role, this is the first thing for becoming a web developer. So basically, you start with the basics of internet. And in the basics of internet, you will be learning about what is DNS, how DNS works, what is a domain name, what is exactly hosting means, etc., etc. So how many of you want a story here? Should I continue saying this way, or do you want a story here? Just type in story on the chat. And what about you, Shruti? Do you want a story as well?
Yeah, sure. I'm very ready for it.
Let's go with a real world anecdote here. So let's say you are in your home and you look outside the road. Opposite to the road there is an empty land, and you have a dream to, you have all the money, etc., etc. You want to build a house on the empty land. You want to make the land yourself, right? So that is what you need to do, you are planning to do. So first thing is, the land is not owned by anyone. Land is technically, let's say it's owned by government or something like that. But if you want to buy it, you cannot directly go and ask for the ownership of the land. Only you can lease it for a couple of years, like let's say 100 years or 50 years or something like this. I'm not sure how the land business works in India or anywhere, because I'm just a developer and not a land owner. So yeah, but definitely you will not be able to own it for yourself, right? So if you want to get that land, what you are going to do, you are not going to go to the president or prime minister of India and say, I want this particular land and on my name or something like that, right? There is a separate division for this one. It's called land registry in the UK, and it should be something related to that in India, some municipal thing or something like that, the Corporation of India or something like that. But even then, you cannot go to the Corporation of India or the land registry and say, I want this one. You have to go through someone called a broker, a land broker, who would be local to your place. And in this city, this person is the land broker, and you would be talking to them saying like, see, this particular land I am interested and I wanted to buy for myself. And then they will do the paperwork, you will be paying the fees, and then you will be getting the land on yourself. And then you will start building the house on top of it by putting all these, bricks, mortar, and then buying all the things like TV, fridge, washing machine, and then painting everything, wiring everything. That's what you would be doing for a general stuff, right? So similarly, domain name is something like your land. Okay, a land address, you can say. So for example, my website is called praveen.science. That is my own domain name. So we have got roadmap.sh, something like this. This is again another domain name. So to purchase all these domain names, what you need to do is, you cannot directly go to the Prime Minister of India, right? So which means you cannot go to directly like ICANN. ICANN is Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers. It is one of the non-profit organization which takes care of, okay, this land belongs to, I mean, this domain name belongs to this person for these number of years. So you cannot directly approach this person as well, but you can approach someone through this one called registrars. So how many of you have heard of GoDaddy or something like that? For example, if I go to in.godaddy.com, you'd be able to, like, get a .com for 299 rupees first year or something like this. So this .com, get an address. So number 420 Dubai Main Road, Dubai Kurukasandar, Dubai, something like this. So that kind of address you will be paying 299 rupees per year. So that's the domain name stuff. And then on top of it, you would be building the house, right? I mean, you are building the website, right? So that requires a server. And then mapping the server with the domain name is the DNS stuff. So you get all these things in the internet, right? DNS, how it works, domain name, hosting, how the browser and all those things. Then the next thing is, once you got the domain name or once you got the land, you need to start building the contents on it. So that's HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So whatever you have got items like, the TV, fridge, washing machine, fan, then, tube light, etc. All these things are the building materials of the house. So those are the HTML elements. Those are the HTML components. So you want to put the fan on the top. You want to put the tube light on that side, etc., etc. And you need to paint the walls in this particular color. The floor should be in particular color, and the ceiling should be in different color. Those things are the presentation side of things, and that is given by CSS. And finally, coming to the JavaScript, if you switch on the switch, it will start running. Switch portal light area, something like that. So that exactly is called the interactive part of the website, and it is created by JavaScript. One good news about JavaScript lovers is, so JavaScript is going to be the default language for the web and the client side. A lot of people will know, but JavaScript can also be used to create the three-tier architecture as well. So there is the presentation layer or the client side. Then you have the application layer or the programming side, the business side, and then you have the data layer or the access layer. So this particular thing, JavaScript can run on all the three sides. So for example, you can use a plain JavaScript, you can use jQuery library, you can use React library, you can use Angular framework, you can use Vue framework on the front end side. In the application layer, you can use Node.js, which is JavaScript, Express.js, which is JavaScript, Fastify, which is JavaScript. Any one of them you can use. And then on the end database side, you can use MongoDB, which is also JavaScript. So a complete JavaScript stack is now possible. So learning about those things, there are like so many things here. So you can start with the basics of HTML, the forms, validations, the contents, SEO, something like that. Then you go with the CSS. You need to learn the basics, the syntax, how you are going to work with the layouts. And there is this thing which is being asked in any company when you go, CSS grid and Flexbox. How many of you want to learn these two things using a game? Anyone who wants to learn it using a game? Okay, so coming to the game part, so my basic way of learning things is either by storytelling or by playing a game. So you have got this Flexbox Froggy, which is one of the best games that I have learned used for learning the Flexbox. CSS Flex model is one of the most used thing in the industry, and there is also CSS grid system. So you can use something called a CSS grid garden. And this is another game for learning CSS grids. So if you see this one, Flexbox Froggy, this is actually a lily pond. Actually, it's not a lily pond, it's a Flex container. And this frog is not a real frog, but it's just a Flex element. Our goal is to get this frog to the lily pod. And then all I need to use is the justify content. So if I use justify -content, so there are different options that I can use. I can use flex start, flex end, center, space between, and space around. I don't know other things, but I know what center is. So I'm going to try putting center here, and then boom, the frog is actually moving. So I need to make it go to the end. So there is this flex end, which says I align the items at the end of the container. And I could see that the next button is also active. So I'm just going to the next level. So the next level is like this. So what we did last time, it is going to be justify content. And then we are going to use center. So this one centers the whole thing. So something like this, you will be learning these syntaxes by practicing in a proper way, and you are having more than like 24 different levels for Flexbox. And similarly for grid garden, you have got 28 levels. CSS grid is always difficult. So but with these games, you will be able to easily learn and stuff. So how many of you saw these two things for the first time? And how was it? Go on, Shruti.
I'm saying at least I'm seeing it for the very first time. It is very interesting.
Nice. So being a lazy person, I love to learn everything in an easy way possible, and that's the reason I'm choosing all these things. And it is very easy to learn this way, and you will also grasp everything. So that's about these two things. And then we have got responsive design and media queries. So for example, if you are using the same kind of code, you're writing the code only once. But when you open the website using a desktop browser or a mobile phone, it is going to show you two different websites. That's cool, right? That is called as responsive design. And what you can do is you can change the way it looks in the mobile versus desktop. So for example, in case of mobile, you have got a very less amount of real estate, whereas in case of desktop, you have got a lot of real estate, right? So you can make the best use of like these things. So this is one thing which I would like to suggest. And apart from these stuff, the next thing I would say is going with the version control system. Obviously, we love time traveling, and that not only version control systems give you the time travel. Okay, how many of you want another story for this? Okay, Shruti, do you want to be the part of my story?
Sure, I will love to.
Okay, and I need one more volunteer. Anyone who wants to be a volunteer for this story? Come on, just type your type I want to be volunteer in the chat, or volunteer or something like. Okay, we have got more learn and more. Sorry, go on.
I'm saying to make this webinar more interactive. Send your doubts in the chat box, make it more interactive.
Exactly.
More fun.
Ask your questions. Okay, so Mehul and more learn and more you earn. And Tushar is also here. So there are like a couple of volunteers here. So let's go with So I'm not able to put the name as more learn to more yearn. So we'll go with Mehul Sharma. So myself, Mehul Sharma, and Shruti, three of us are good friends, and we are all in the same class. And we have got a teacher who comes and gives us an assignment. And Shruti is one of the super intelligent, awesomest girl, and she is in the first bench. And Mehul is again a normal person, normal student, and I am this worst backbencher who lives in the backbench in his own den. But we three are extremely close friends. And what happens is, the moment Shruti gets the assignment, and actually we all get the assignment, Shruti immediately finishes the assignment, turns in the paper, and she gets 85 marks. And then, being a good friend of us, she is also giving us to copy the assignment, and we all copy it. Mehul gets 85 marks, but I was not convinced with the content of the assignment. So being the curious guy, what I do is I take a Xerox copy of the assignment, make some changes, and turn it in. Then once I turned it in, the teacher gave me like 90 marks. And being a good friend of Shruti, I showed the assignment with all the corrections. And Shruti, what she did is, okay, these things are valid. I'm going to add more things. And then changed all the stuff. And then she got like 95 marks. And then she shared everything with us. So we all three of us got 95 marks, even though we started with 85 marks. Mehul did not do any work. I did a bit of work. Shruti did all the work. So what all things, what is your takeaway from this? But please don't do this in the real class. The teachers will be killing me. So Shruti, let's start from you. You tell me what all things that you took away, positive ones.
Okay, so we all are learning with each other. We are correcting each other's mistakes, and yeah, I guess
So
that's
that's
it.
actually a great thing. So we are learning as a team, so teamwork, and we are also see, if there are like there is only one person writing the code or one person doing the work, that person will be so much, having a fatigue that even if they make a small mistake, it might go away. Like it you might ignore it or you might not see it. But another person with a fresh eyes comes and sees it. They can easily spot that, hey, there is a comma missing or there is a semicolon missing or something like that. A lot of times it has happened, right? So these are two things. Thank you, Shruti, for these things. And other things, any other answers you would like to say? Aryan, go ahead, tell me. So there are like this collaboration, there is like a lot of people putting new ideas, etc. All these things are happening. So now let's see how this connects to the real world. Shruti, can I call you as Microsoft? That's the surprise you
Sure.
have got.
But
so
I'm
so in the
I'm currently organizing, or I'm currently working as a GDSC lead. So it will be
I
great if you
know.
call. That will be great.
Okay, let's take it as Google stuff for today. Okay, so let's consider Shruti as Google, and the teacher who came and gave the assignment is the developer community. They all wanted an awesome browser. Oh my god, I'm able to tell so many stories now. Okay, they wanted an awesome browser, and Shruti, being the over enthusiastic person, I mean Google being the over enthusiastic company, they initially created this Google Chrome as the application, a browser application for all the developer company. So a community, like, let it be Mehul, let it be me, let it be Google's developers, everyone downloaded the Google Chrome and started working with it. So even the teacher, who is the developer community, everyone downloaded it and started working. But me being me, I was not satisfied with what Google Chrome was offering. So I made some changes, and then what I did is I copied Xerox copied Shruti's assignment. I mean, I took a fork of the complete source code, and then I started making some changes in my fork of their code, and then created some commits. And then I just requested Shruti or Google to, like, pull my changes to your code. So that's exactly what we did. And if you consider this with the real life scenario, and this is for those people who have got zero clue about what Git and GitHub is, what open source is, and not for those people who already know it. Obviously, it will be very cringy for the story, but this is actually a good story, right? So how many of you feel that this is a good story, and is it good or bad? So Harsh Bharadwaj says, can you please both put your Insta links so that we can connect? So all the links are in the description. There is this GDSC link tree. So check this out. I'm gonna add the link tree here again in the chat box. Okay, cool. So the next thing is, yes, obviously the basic usage of Git, and there are different types of repo hosting services. We can use GitHub, GitLab, etc. And then being a front-end developer, you don't really require to be knowing a lot of web security knowledge, but that is an added advantage. There is something called as OWASP top 10 security risks. So just have a quick look at it. And then the next thing will be like, so one more thing which I wanted to say is in this whole page, if you consider me as a good web developer, I know only like 50 or 60% of the front end part, and for the back end part, I know only 30% of the back end part. So you don't need to know every single thing in this. So now, considering the time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the next one. So the next stuff that we are planning to do is, how many of you want to see a magic in GitHub? So I believe a lot of people will know what GitHub is, and let me ask Shruti. So Shruti, let's say you have got your well, what is happening here? So this is my uh, repository. So if at all I want to do some kind of a change using a kind of like a magic spell or something, what I'm going to do is if I go to some kind of a repository and let's see, there is this some portfolio website or something like that. I open this particular file. All I do is press a dot button on my keyboard, and immediately it is going to open up a VS Code online for me. How many of you know this already? Is there anyone who did not know, who is learning this for the first time? And there are like multiple things that you can do, because this VS Code is actually integrated with GitHub. You would be able to create your own issues here. There are the created issues, there are recent issues. You have got local pull requests, created pull request, assigned pull request, your review, the pull request that you can review it. All these things can be used with VS Code. Not only that, you can also add all these extensions as well. Already we are using Prettier. You can also add the other extensions, so you can just like that make it yourself. So what do you think about this? How many of you already know this, or how many of you are looking at this for the first time? This is one of the coolest one I saw, and this might be helping a lot of people. For example, if you want to edit multiple files at once on the web view, this is the best way to go for. And cool, excellent. And the next thing that I wanted to tell all of you is, okay, this is going to be another demonstration, a demo thing. So I'm going to use my VS Code locally. So let's say we have a particular website, a website that looks like this. Sorry about my poor drawing skills. So there is a header, there is a logo here, and there is another nav bar. And we have got 4 different nav items, which says nav1, nav2, nav3, and nav4. So let's say this is our GDSC-DCE's website, and let's start with something very how do you say, very small in this case. Okay, so this is the website, and this website actually contains the basic code of so just the HTML code. Okay, so if let me get the code for you. So here's the code. So I believe everyone is able to see the code clearly, right? So how long do you think you will take to write such a code? It is just like 23 lines of code, and it is a custom code that has been created. Shruti, how long do you think it will take?
For a beginner, I think HTML syntax is something that at least students in India learn from the ninth class very basic
Okay.
syntax, not everything about browsers and all of these.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if there is a beginner, then it will take around 20-25 minutes maybe.
20-25 minutes for this page. Let's see what the people from YouTube are saying. So I could see a lot of people saying 10 minutes. So 10 to 15 minutes. So will safely call it as 10 to 25 minutes, because you said 25 minutes as a beginner. So I know that there are a lot of people who are beginners. So let's do some expert stuff. What are all the tips and tricks that I would be using for this? So I'm going to start from an empty screen as well. So let's do one more thing. Let's call a stopwatch here and see how long does it take for me to do this. Okay, Shruti, tell me about a person like me who is experienced. How long will the person take for creating the same thing for this one?
Okay. So if you are using VS auto correction or auto suggestion part, then it will take a second maybe.
Auto suggestion. Okay, like seriously, just 1 second to get all these things. I can even change these things. So I want it to be like hello 1, hello 2, hello 3, hello 4. So these are all like dynamically. I'm changing the requirements. So how long do you think it will take?
You
Tell me
can,
realistically.
okay, so you can make it for around in 5 minutes maybe, or even lesser
Okay,
than
five
that.
minutes for an experienced developer. Let's have a look at the YouTube side of things. So 5 minutes max, 10 minutes. That is what people are telling. Okay, so let's go ahead. For me, I'm going to start the timer and then wait for 5 seconds before I do, because I need to click on this and click on this and set the language, etc. So for that, it takes some at least a few seconds. So I'm going to click on start, and until 5 seconds is over, I'm not going to do anything. So time starts now. I'm going to set as HTML. So first thing is I'm going to get the doc type done. So GDSC-DCE. And then I'm going to put a header. Inside the header, we have got a H1. There is a. There is a logo inside that. Then there is a nav bar. And inside the nav bar, you have a unordered list. And then there are 4 different list items. And each list item has got a nav link. And then I'm putting a nav link. So stop it here. So it was 28 or 29. So how long did it take really? And then if you want to add the formatting, so here you go. So any changes, I made a mistake here. It says DEC, but I corrected it as DCE. So same code. It took 20 seconds, 23 seconds. So exactly. So this particular method is called as emmet. Emmet is kind of snippets, but they are all dynamic snippets, and you would be able to like make a lot of code by writing one single line of text. So that is the main thing. Writing that line of text, you need to know what exactly you are writing, etc. And all these things are found here. Let me try to open this one here. It's called emmet.io. And in emmet.io, you can actually watch a demo here. So how many of you are watching this for the first time? Like you have got no clue about what emmet was, and this is the first time you're looking at emmet. So this is what you would be doing. You will be writing a CSS like abbreviation, and it automatically opens up all these things. So this is one easy way of working with this, and you can also go into like accordingly. So one more thing is, if you want to learn the complete emmet, you can go for the documentation. But again, if you are lazy like me, just cheat sheet is there for us, people like us. And this is a complete cheat sheet which has got literally everything. So we use this child thing, we use the multiplication, we use sibling, we didn't use the climb up, but we used the grouping. Then all these things, like, and then we have got this exclamation symbol somewhere. So the exclamation symbol is this one again, and you have got the UL, all these things are there. So here's something that you can actually do, which is really helpful. So yeah, so how many of you have got an idea about this? How many of you feel that okay, this is something new that I will be learning or something like that? Please put it in the comments. And the next thing that we are going to look at is, so this is about emmet, and we saw about the React.js and Node.js thing. So we can directly go for the app deployment right away. So how many of you are ready for deploying a new app, a web app, or a website quickly? So the first thing which I wanted to tell us, so those people who have been interacting with me in a nice way, like in the live stream, you are all going to get some kind of a goodie. So don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn and other places so that you are getting what you wanted. And that will actually give you a lot of, like, how should I say, a lot of information about like, a lot of stuff that you would require to create your own portfolio or website. Okay, you don't need to depend on some Heroku or something like that, but you can actually use your own domain name. So Shruti, you are already getting one, so enjoy. And for the other people who are extremely active in the chat, you will be getting one. So now let's do something simple. I'm gonna open GitHub quickly. So this is my GitHub profile. I'm going to create a new repository here. I'm going to make it as DSC-DCE, quick deployment, something like this. Okay, this is one. There are multiple ways you can do a quick deployment, but before that, let's see the fast and dirty way of doing things. How many of you have heard of this thing called as code sandbox? So this is an online IDE where you can create a sandbox and you can use it quickly without any struggle. So there is these many different types of sandbox which you can create. So let's go with a static HTML page. And what I would generally use is I would use jsbin.com for making some basic website or something like that. So right now I'm not going to create a complete website at this point, considering the time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my repository, try to flick some other website, and then change some contents. So I'm going to go to the repositories, and there is this DTC portfolio website. I'm going to go to the index, go to the raw file, and then copy the whole thing and paste everything inside this. So it says my portfolio. So I believe a lot of people would like to create your own portfolio, right? So I'm going to use Shruti's as the one, but Shruti's website is super cool. I would love to say that, like, it is one of the best websites I have ever seen for a like a beginner one. Has got literally everything. So go follow what Shruti has done. So
Thank you so much.
yeah, so I'm going to put your name here. So Shruti's portfolio, and without doing much changes, I'm going to change all these things. So Shruti, can I use your picture or some other picture? Like, let's use Pikachu's picture or something. So this is one way of searching an image which is exactly, let's say, 512 by 512, and you can immediately get a lot of pictures which are just 512 by 512. But let's not use Pikachu. Let's use some other thing like.
You can use mine too if you want to.
Okay, cool. So oops, I'm pressing all the different buttons. Sorry about that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this picture and I'm going to copy the image address, and then let's use it here. So let's see if this is working. Yeah, it works. And I hope it is. Yeah, it is a square picture. So we will just remove this imgur and then put it here, and we can change. I am Shruti Sharma. How about the contents here? Do you want to change anything here quickly? And by the way, this is responsive as well.
Cryptocurrency and finance to full stack development, maybe, because this session is all about that.
And then it says, thank you for coming to the website. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this content. And first thing is you can use even JSBin to share this, but at the same time, in this code sandbox, what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste it here. Once I save it, boom, you just have this small website where you can share it with anyone. This is a very quick quick way of deploying things, quick and dirty way of deploying things. So unfortunately, the one problem with this is there is an open sandbox here, which will actually expose your code. But otherwise, even if that is the case, this is just a front-end code. You can easily view source and get the code out. But in case if you are working on React application and you're putting a lot of efforts, open sandbox will definitely get you all the code out. And one more thing, even the sandbox will be guessable. And another thing what you can do is, if you want to delete or remove this part, what you can do is you can try finding this particular thing. So it has got an ID, I believe. Oh, this is not the ID. There is this one, iframe SB open sandbox or something like that. So either you can do something like this. For example, there is this style here. So hash open sandbox and do display none. And if you refresh this page, it still comes up, right? So let's try to use an important. And let's see if it still comes. Yes, it does. And what you can do is you can also do something like body in this. If there is an iframe, display none. It's gone. No more open sandbox. Even that is doable. And for someone, if you want to show it like a presentation or something very quickly, a quick and dirty way to deploy your own website is this way. And yeah, here you go. This is your website, like a quick and dirty website. And then the other thing where you can work on is you can also work as a like a React application here. So that is also possible. And the proper way of doing things is, so we have this complete code, right? So we don't need this particular part. We can just get rid of that. And I'm going to close this one, leave the site, and I create a simple repository. It's going to be a public repository, part of Praveen's live stream on full stack development. And then I'm going to create a new repository. Unfortunately, GitHub pages will support only HTML, the static HTML. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new file, which is named as index.html, and I'm going to paste it. In any case, if you want to change anything, you can either use this way, or you can also do this dot trick. It is going to open your web browser, and then it's going to make it work. So it's going to open your Visual Studio Code, and you can do all the things that you want to do in your home computer. You can do it here as well. And one more thing which I wanted to show is, right, if I wanted to even deploy this, what you should be doing, I should be going to the settings, go to the pages, and then choose from the main branch and save it. So once I do this, I get a blue color big box which says that your site is ready to be published at this particular page. So if I just wait for some more time, like let's go to the code here, and then you would see there is an orange blob here. So this orange blob says pages build and deployment, and it is going to do a dynamic build. So let's watch the details. So remember, it's an orange blob, right? So it is currently pulling the GitHub actions here, and then it is going to, once you get it pulled, all these things will be complete. It's going to do a lot of work behind, and then it is going to say, once the job is done, it's going to say completed job. So if you refresh this page, there are like two more options coming up. It's going to do a report build status, and then it is also going to deploy the page. So we are going to wait till this deployment is done. So we cannot trust this. So we are going to refresh this once again. It says job is about to be starting on this one. So it seems like it is done. Yeah, setup job is done. It is doing the deployment right now. So this one is inside the DevOps scenario, and right now we have completed the job. So you could see that the evaluated environment URL is some big environment URL. So we have got so much big URL like praveenscience.github.io/DSC-DCE quick deployment. I don't think this is the right way to do, right? Like you don't want your, if some client of yours comes, and if you want to give your interview to a big company saying that you are the best developer of the world, you don't want to have like praveenscience.github.io/some big numbers, right? So you want to have your own development environment. How many of you know who is Jigglypuff, and how many of you like her? Shruti, do you like this person? Do you know who
Not
Jigglypuff
sure.
is?
I think it is from Pokemon. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's
Haven't
from
seen.
Pokemon. It's a cute one which when it sings you will all fall asleep. Just like me, when I talk something, people will fall asleep. Okay, now coming to this one, this is Cloudflare. This is one of my guardian angels where it is going to help me with disabling DDoS attacks, so mitigating the DDoS attack, getting HTTPS site, and also I would be able to get a lot of good things in this. So there are like loads and loads of features. I don't want to show you the email which I'm logging in. So I'm going to quickly log in using my email. And once I get the Cloudflare dashboard starting, I'm going to see all the list of my websites. So out of it, we have our Jigglypuff's website here. And this is the jig.win. And if I open this, all these overview and everything will be here. Then there are like loads and loads of other things as well. So I'm going to go into the DNS here. DNS is the domain name system. And this is where there are like loads and loads of things that we will be doing right now. So I'm going to add a new record for connecting the website with my GitHub pages. Let's say we will call it as Shruti. Okay, so I'm going to change it to CNAME. CNAME means canonical name. This is one of the DNS records. There are so many different types of DNS records. Let me show you a couple of them. So you have a record, which means address record. You can give an IPv4 address. There is AAAA record, 4As, which is called as IPv6 address. Then there is CNAME, which is canonical name. Then you have got MX records. MX records are mail exchanger records. Then you have got SPF records. SPF records means security protection framework. This is mainly for not making your like there are so many spoof emails that comes to your inbox, right? So how does Gmail detect that this particular email is spam or something like that? Using the SPF value. So there are service records and there are text records and so many records are out there. So we will be very much concentrated about CNAME record. CNAME means canonical name record, which means make an exact copy of another website, their properties, their DNS properties alone. Not exactly copy the website, but copy the DNS properties of this domain name. So what we are doing is the target domain name will be domain.github.io. So this is the domain name that we will be copying and to where? Let's use shruti.jig.win. Okay, and then I'm going to add it. Along with this, we also want the www version as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another CNAME and then make it as www.shruti. And then do the same thing, which is domain.github.io. And then I'm going to press the save button. Once I press the save button, I'll be able to see that these two things are saved as the DNS records. Now, what I'm going to do is in my mission, in my code, I'm going to go to the settings again. So pages settings again. So if you refresh this page, you'll be able to see that there is a green tick here, right? So this is an info. This is a green tick. So inside the green tick, if you see there is something called as custom domain, you just put the shruti.jig.win and press the save button. Once you press the save button, it is again gonna change this green to a blue color stuff. So let's wait for it. Again, your site is ready to be published, just similar to what it was showing here. So it is going to take about like a few seconds to do the publishing. So if I go back to the code, I could see the orange blob here, and it's doing the build pages and deployment. So it's doing all these things again. So any questions so far? Folks, please ask your questions as well, so that I know that like, okay, Sukham is feeling bored, but probably developers like us, we will not be bored of food and bored of money, right? Sorry, Sukham. I'm so sorry that you have to experience that way. All right. So let's see what all things are happening now. So post checkout is happening. Once it does, we are going to go for the deployment part. So by the way, in case if you are not happy to go for a work, this is what happens in the real work as well. So So be prepared for it. So now you could see that the evaluated environment URL is shruti.jig.min. And if I try to open this in a new window, boom, there you go. So that's a proper way of deployment done now. And you can, Shruti, you can see that how fast this is comparing to Heroku, because in basically if you want to use a website just for the static rendering, this is very quick, very fast, just 5 minutes work, and then you will be able to get your own site up and running. And even after 10 years of not access or something like that, if I just open another website which is again hosted in GitHub pages, you can see it opening almost instantaneously. Whereas Heroku or any other backend related applications, it will take some time. So for those people who are still looking for working on backend and you want to look at something like very quickly, I want to run a backend website without much work and without much, like I don't want to register also, and I want it to be free, you can use something called as StackBlitz. And StackBlitz is like an instant dev environment as well. So in case of any kind of application that you're working, let it be Next.js, Nuxt3, Node.js, JavaScript, TypeScript, React, Angular, Vue, static files, RxJS, every single thing is possible as well. So if you see the backend, there are like so many Express frameworks and Koa, etc., etc. There are like so many things that is available. Even GraphQL is available. So there is also this JSON GraphQL server, which is very, I mean, like GraphQL, if you need the support of GraphQL, you need to pay a lot of money. Whereas in this case, it is going to be very quick and very easy. So I hope these things are going to give you a lot of information about like how, as a seasoned expert, what all the different things that I do, different things I see, etc. So what do you feel? I guess I'm done with my presentation now. So sorry, I did not make a PPT, but I just made a complete demo of it. So there you go. I'm done.
I think you have covered everything, including the back end, front end, and the cloud as well.
That's full
And
stack web development.
yes, exactly. For the beginners, it was very interesting as well. I think they should have liked it. Um, Thank you so much, first of all, for accepting the invite in a very short notice period. And it was a lovely session. And for the participants, we are going to organize a hackathon named as Hacker Relay. The details will be out on all of our social handles. And we are active basically on LinkedIn and Insta the most. So you can check that out. And there will be some cool prizes that you can win. And the schedule and the prizes will be revealed in this week only. So you can follow us on all of our social handles. And if there are any doubts regarding full stack development, then feel free to reach out to Sir as well on LinkedIn. And I can share his LinkedIn handle in the chat box on both the site on our DSC page as well. And I think if you are on his channel, then you might have joined them. I think that's it. Thank you so much once again, Praveen sir. Thank you to all the participants who stick till the end. And yeah.
Please don't call me sir. I'm a kid. I'm just like you. And thank you so much for having me here. It's a big pleasure for being featured in GDSC's webinars as well. And thanks a lot. As usual, what I'm going to say, stay home, stay safe, and stay away from Corona. Your health is first priority. Don't be like me. All right, then. See you all. Bye. My live stream, I have disconnected it. It's going to show the empty thing. So thank you so much. It was so good.
Yeah, it was a lovely session though. You have covered everything very beautifully. I
Some
hope
people
we
were
will
bored, but that's
some
okay.
future events also.
Yes, 100%, always. Oh, okay, and go check out your like how it looks in YouTube. So it would be totally
Yeah,
in different way. I haven't seen, I haven't opened the other YouTube link. So if you can send me that link later, whenever you have got time, I'm just gonna have a look at how it has come up.
sure. I will send that to you. Okay, then I
Thank you so
think
much.
that's
Stay
it.
in touch. Yes.
Yeah.
And I'll make you the host right now, and then I'll leave if that is okay. If you need to use the Zoom meeting for any other purpose, have it.
I think it's done. The main motive was the session that has already been done. So
Okay,
yeah,
then. I made you
yeah.
the
Thank
host
you so
anyway,
much.
so thank you so much. So see you then, and have a nice day.
Okay, same to you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.